This is section 5.5.2, properties of real numbers. Here's the table of the properties of real numbers. This table can also be found in your book in section 5.5. Let's read through the different properties. The commutative property of addition. Two real numbers can be added in any order. For example, 3 plus 7 and 7 plus 3 both equal 10. It doesn't matter which order you add the numbers in. Next, we have the commutative property of multiplication, which says that two real numbers can be multiplied in any order. For example, 3 times 7 and 7 times 3 both equal 21. Once again, it doesn't matter what order the numbers are multiplied in. Next, we have the associative property of addition. If three real numbers are added, it makes no difference which two are added first. Let's look at the example. We have 6 plus 2 plus 5. Where 6 plus 2 is in parentheses, meaning we're going to add 6 plus 2 first, and we're going to get 8. Then we're going to do 8 plus 5, and we're going to get 13. Well, this is a little bit different than if we did the 2 plus 5 first and got 7, and then 6 plus 7 also equals 13. So once again, if three numbers are being added, it does not matter which two are added together first. Next, let's look at the associative property of multiplication. It says that if three real numbers are multiplied, it makes no difference which two are multiplied first. Let's look at the example. Very similar to the last example, except it's multiplication instead of addition. On the left side, we have 6 times 2 times 5. We're doing the 6 times 2 first because it's in parentheses. Therefore, we get 12 times 5. 12 times 5 is 60. On the right side, we're multiplying the same three numbers, except in this case, we are multiplying the 2 times 5 first because it's in parentheses. 2 times 5 is 10. 6 times 10 is 60. So once again, you can see that we're multiplying three numbers together, and it does not matter which two numbers we multiply together first. The last property is the distributive property of multiplication over addition, otherwise known as the distributive property. It says that when that multiplication distributes over addition. For example, if we have the expression 7 times the quantity 4 plus 3, then we know that we can distribute the 7 to the 4 and to the 3. So 7 times 4 and 7 times 3. We get 7 times 4, which is 28. 7 times 3, which is 21. We're going to add those two together because this was addition inside the parentheses. And 28 plus 21 gives us 49. Oftentimes you see the distributive property in algebra with the use of a variable. All right, in this example, we're going to have to identify the properties that are being used. In part A, we have the square root of 3 times 7, which equals 7 times the square root of 3. Looking back at our table, which property is this? In this case, part A, what we're doing is we are multiplying two numbers, but we're multiplying them in different orders. So, of course, this is the commutative property. Of multiplication. Let's look at part B. We have 4 plus 7 in parentheses, then we're adding 6. That's going to equal 4 plus 7 plus 6 in parentheses. Well, as you can see, we have three different numbers, and the same three numbers occur on both sides of the equation. However, on the left side, we are adding 4 plus 7 together first, and on the right side, we're adding 7 plus 6 together first. So, thinking back to your properties, you should recognize that this is the associative property of addition, because we're adding three numbers together, and it does not matter which two numbers we add together first. All right, let's look at part C. Part C, 2 times the quantity 3 plus the square root of 5 equals 6 plus 2 square roots of 5. Well, hopefully you recognize that this 2 in the parentheses is setting up multiplication. So in order to multiply 2 times that quantity, we have to multiply the 2 times the 3 and then the 2 times the square root of 5. This is the distributive property. And our final example, part D. We have the square root of 2 plus the square root of 3 plus 7 equals the square root of 2 plus the square root of 7 plus 3. Now, don't be fooled by this. At first glance, it looks like it could be the associative property, like in part B, because we are adding three numbers together. However, if you look closely, on both the left and right sides, what we're doing first in parentheses is we're adding the square root of 3 and the square root of 7. So it's not the associative property because we're adding the same two numbers together first on both sides of the equation. But notice what is happening inside of parentheses. On the left side, we have the square root of 3 plus the square root of 7. And on the right side, we have the square root of 7 plus the square root of 3. So looking back at your properties, you should recognize that this is the commutative property of addition, because what we have done is we have changed the order in which we're adding the square root of 3 plus the square root of 7. We've switched them around, and we know that whenever you switch the numbers, it does not matter. You're still going to come up with the same sum. This has been section 5.5.2, Properties of Real Numbers.